I bought the tape on a Saturday morning, the kind where the air feels heavy and damp, like a storm's waiting to break. The flea market was almost empty. A guy with a folding table of old electronics waved me over. His display, a mess of tangled cords, scratched DVDs, and a milk crate of VHS tapes. One tape was different. Black, no sticker. ST S4 E10. Scrawled in smeared black marker. Stranger Things Season 4 only had 9 episodes, so I figured it was either a bootleg or some fan's unreleased edit. I asked the guy about it. He just shrugged, said he didn't even remember putting it out, and sold it for $1. At home, curiosity beat caution. My VCR groaned when I slid the tape in, the way old machines do when they know they're about to work too hard. The Netflix logo appeared, but slowed down. The familiar ta-dum warped into something lower, like a deep exhale through broken speakers. Then came the title card. Except the Stranger Things letters weren't red. They were almost black, barely visible against the darker background. The first shot, the buyer's house. Only it wasn't the warm, colored home from the show. The siding was peeling, the windows fogged from the inside. The camera pushed slowly toward the living room window where Will sat hunched in a chair facing a TV full of static. For nearly a full minute, nothing happened. No music, no dialogue. Just a faint hiss of static and a slow zoom on the back of Will's head. Then, movement. In the trees behind the house, something impossibly tall shifted. Too thin for a person, but upright. The camera didn't focus on it, like it didn't want me to see. Cut to Hopper, wandering an empty Hawkins street. He was in his uniform, but it was filthy, like he'd been wearing it for weeks. Blood trickled from his ears. His breathing was ragged. Every few steps he'd mutter something. But the audio was garbled, like a cassette being eaten. Next came 11. She was in the dark room with concrete walls, sitting cross-legged on the floor. Her hair was longer, greasy, clinging to her face. She stared at the ground and whispered for a string of numbers over and over. 4, 15, 86. Over and over, the camera cut to extreme close-ups of her lips, her teeth, her wet breath fogging the lens. Between scenes, the episodes spliced in moments of VHS-style footage. Distorted, grainy shots of the upside down, buildings sagging like melted wax, animal corpses picked clean, a single door standing upright in a field of ash. Every time it cut back to the real world, the characters looked more exhausted. Midway through, the thing in the trees appeared again. This time, it was closer. It looked like the mind flare, but thinner. Its limbs jerking like it was being animated at a different frame rate from the rest of the world. The camera didn't run from it. Instead, it let the creature crouch low and lean into the lens. Its mouth moved, but no sound came out. Then subtitles appeared. You are not watching this alone. The words stayed on the screen for almost 30 seconds. I found myself glancing around my living room. When the scene returned, 11 was at the door in the upside down. She hesitated, then opened it. Instead of a new location, the camera cut to static, and then my living room. It wasn't filmed from my perspective. It was like a hidden camera shot. The angle was low, pointed right at me, or at least someone who looked exactly like me. Sitting in my chair, wearing the exact clothes I had on in that moment, staring directly into the camera. I froze. The figure on the tape smiled. Just a little, but it was wrong. Too slow. The screen went black. The VCR clicked. The tape spit itself out. When I looked at the reflection of my dark TV screen, I was smiling back. I didn't move for a long time. I just sat there, staring at that black TV screen. Eventually, I convinced myself it was some elaborate prank, maybe an ARG I'd stumbled into. I ejected the tape and set it on my coffee table. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. That night, I tried to sleep with the TV unplugged, and around 3 a.m., I woke up to static. The TV, still unplugged, was on. The volume was low, but I could hear it. 4, 15, 86. I unplugged the TV completely, yanked the cord from the wall, and shoved it into the closet. The next day, I noticed something outside my window. Just beyond the tree line, something tall and impossibly thin shifted between the trunks. Every time I blinked, it seemed closer. I told myself not to look at it again. 3 days later, when I came home from work, the tape was gone from the coffee table. In its place was a different VHS. No label this time, just a faint thumbprint in dried, dark red. I haven't played it, but sometimes when I walk past the closet where I keep the TV, I can hear the faint hiss of static through the door, and beneath it, a slow, careful whisper. You are not watching this alone.